Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. And today I thought we'd do something kind of cool. So you might have heard from some of my other videos, I've mentioned that we're doing renovating our kitchen. And when you renovate your kitchen, there are weeks or even months at times where you don't have power to it, you don't have water. I don't have a microwave or a stove top, so dyeing and dyeing and customizing and doing the things that I normally would do are kind of at a standstill until I get my kitchen back. And because that's where I would do most of my customizing. I actually had a little spot in my kitchen that was a really nice sort of like little workbench, and that was really, it had optimal lighting, etc. So while those projects are on hold for the time being, I thought, there are some things that I can do. And one of the things that I've done for many, many years, as long as I've been customizing, is I have been renovating Star Wars vehicles. And in a recent video, I showed you that a very kind, an unbelievably kind donation came in, and it was actually an AT-AT walker. And the AT-AT walker was half complete, you might say, and it did need some parts and pieces. And I explained in that video that I thought it would be a really fun renovation project, and something that I could do in the meantime while sort of dioramas and things are on hold. So I hope you find this interesting. But in that video, I showed that there are some legs. We have legs that came with it, and most of the main frame of the body and the hull are there, but some of the pieces they're all here, but they're yellow. So we're going to, in upcoming parts, we're going to de-yellow these pieces and kind of make them factory fresh. We're also going to go into the hull of the AT-AT walker, and we are going to restore these electronics. So there's some really cool electronics in here. We're going to take those apart. We're going to clean out the electronics. We're going to make them work again. That's actually a fairly easy process as long as you have everything. And it might require a little bit of soldering, but I've got that equipment, so we'll take care of that. But today, one of the most interesting or difficult parts sometimes of any restoration is just tracking down the parts that you need. And in the case of the 1997 Power of the Force 2 AT-AT walker, none of the parts are particularly difficult to find, but finding them at a good price, now that's a different animal. So sometimes, while the parts are there, people want an arm and a leg for them. But I found a seller on eBay last week, and there were a lot of best offer options on some of the parts that I needed, and sort of cobbled together a couple of good deals, and sure enough, he accepted my offers, and I got the parts. So the first parts that we're gonna track down that we're gonna put on today are the actual canopy. So the AT-AT walker itself is it's not really an AT-AT if you're not covered. So we're going to get the canopy, and then there's actually two sets of different guns on the AT-AT walker. There are cheek guns, and each cheek of the AT-AT, the port and starboard side, have laser guns. And then there's actually a little piece of armor separate that sits on those. We're going to track those down. I don't have those yet, but what I did find was underneath, there's also chin guns. And the chin guns go in these slots, and there's a peg, and then this actual lever right here activates the chin guns, and they actually light up. There's actually in the piece itself, in the chin gun itself, there's a clear sort of like perspex rod, and that actually lights up once the electronics flow through it. So I did track those down. So let's put those on. So here's the box, and I took the liberty of opening the box, and so there it is. And I'm going to pull the pieces out that we ordered. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so there's some of the things. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take these chin guns. Now there's a left and a right chin gun, and so if you ever do want to order or restore an AT-AT walker, you have to make sure that you get the chin guns left and right. So obviously the detailed section you want facing on the outside aspect of it, and then of course there's an inside unfinished aspect. So you want to make sure that you get both of those. So all you got to do to put those on is there's actually a little slot here and a little peg here. So you just have to fish the peg into the slot until it snaps in, and you'll kind of hear it snap in. Sometimes it just takes a second. There you go. And you want to make sure that that rod sits in there, and then that way when you activate the rod, it's going to work properly. Same thing on this side. So we'll put this one in. There you go. Now we'll make sure that that little rod sits in. And now when you activate the lever, the AT-AT chin guns go back and forth. Pretty cool. And when we fix these electronics, these light bars are going to light up, which is kind of cool. A very 90s touch to it, but I like it nonetheless. All right, so now let's flip it back up. And again, this is a simple matter of just taking this piece and putting it on. So there we go. Part one of the restoration is in the books. So you just have to, just a couple little clips that go in there like that. There you go. It's going to sit down. There you go. Now you've got the AT-AT canopy and you've got the chin guns. Stay tuned for part two, where we take out the electronics. We try to get them working again with maybe a little bit of white vinegar and some Q-tips. Maybe a little bit of a soldering iron might need to be, might need to happen, and we'll get those going, and then we'll de-yellow it. Thank you so much for looking. Stay tuned. We do have another live stream, Stone Mandalorian and I, Saturday, actually tonight, October 19th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We can talk about this project. We can talk about whatever you want. I don't know, maybe somebody else out there likes to restore projects. So I hope to see you there, and thank you so much for looking.